In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Professor Iqbal Malik here with this smart video of the series on essay writing, especially for the CSS aspirants, but the students of all other grades, they may also benefit from it. Dear friends, in my previous videos, I have discussed several things that are given in the reports of the examiners. In my previous video, I have discussed especially two things taken from the reports of the examiners. One is lack of understanding of the topic, and the other is faulty language. Here in this brief video, I want to discuss how a candidate can improve his language and the different competencies of language, especially written expression. Dear friends, it is clear that a candidate who is preparing for CSS attempt, he just explores a lot of sources and he reads a lot of books. If I say that all these books, if not all, then most of these books are written in English of any subject. So while reading these books without any extra labor, a candidate can learn a lot of language through close reading. If, for example, a candidate is reading a book of history, definitely the book is written in English. Then the expression, the use of language, similes, metaphors, figurative language, all these things are very masterfully written in that book. Without any extra labor, a candidate can learn these things from there. But the problem is that while we are reading a book of history, we restrict ourselves toward the historical facts only, the chronological order. But if we are that much careful about the language, the use of language there, we can learn a lot from these sources as well. Secondly, a candidate should have got a good book of grammar and composition. And there is a plethora of books there in the market, as a high school English grammar and composition, Rand and Martin. These things are there. You can tip by tip take things for your guidance and then put them in your practice, on daily practice, even in spoken and written expression. Today here is I want to introduce you to a book that is with the title A Challenge to Grammarians and Linguists. A Challenge to Grammarians and Linguists, very recently published for CSS, PMS, BS, B.Ed, etc. by Professor Sarwar Niazi. And the book is published by Tips Academy, Urdu Bazaar, Lahore. Why I have selected this book to discuss? Because this is very recent and it has been published after consulting all other sources available, already available in the market. So here I want to just read some lines from chapter 5. What is language? The hardest task in the world is perhaps trying to define what is obvious, a mere platitude. Language is, after all, what we speak and listen to and read and write. It is primarily a sound and secondarily a symbol. Man has been speaking some language or other for the past 500,000 years. Perhaps the greatest genius, greater even than Einstein, was the Homo sapiens who for the first time devised a meaningful word from a sound. One who rose above a handful of vowel sounds and invented a consonant expression, and then various consonants and vowels combined into hundreds of thousands of words, each distinct from the other. So this is on language. So in this way, the book deals with grammar, the tenses, all other things that are used in language. But here, in chapter 23, with the title The Narration and the Allied Problems, because you come across narration. Perhaps there is nothing more tricky and thorny than getting perfection in narration. This is probably because in Urdu and Hindi there is no such thing as indirect speech as something absolutely distinct and different from direct speech. Those whose L1 first language is Urdu are thoroughly molded in their daily speech and so deeply immersed in Urdu idiom that while converting as English speak from direct into indirect, they commit errors unconsciously. This is a chronic malady that can be cured through extensive practice under the supervision of a teacher. That is the problem because we are all the time dealing with Urdu or Hindi or Punjabi as our first language or maybe second language. Then when we go to English, all this, the burden of history is with us so far as English speaking is concerned. So we take English as we have taken Urdu. So here is a problem. Maybe the concept of direct or indirect that is different in English. So the subject is changed and the object is changed and tense is changed. But here in Urdu, things are quite different. So that is the problem. So with the help of such type books, a candidate can improve his language. So at least a candidate or any other student should be perfectly capable of writing good English. At least one language, and that is English in CSS. So there is no excuse that it is not a science subject that you have communicated well. No. Each and every comma and full stop and semicolon, they are of great value in this paper, especially essay writing and précis and composition and all such type of paper. So there is no excuse. So that is why today I have taken this book. Maybe some other books are also there, but I think sufficient for today. Again, I want to summarize that while studying other subjects, a student must be that much careful that the written language there in that book, the candidate should utilize by giving some extra attention without much labor. You can learn how to use language in a better and impressive way. You can, take guidance from that book, from every book of English. Simultaneously, you should have got a good book of English grammar. In this way, I think there is no reason that you can get proficiency over language and then practice. While practicing, you are actually making things more solid in your mind, in your thinking or thought process. In this way, practice makes a person perfect, I should say. So thank you so much for now. If there are any questions, then you please put it in the comment section. I would be just dealing with that in upcoming videos. Thank you so much.